Showtime, my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shogun Zora and thank you for tuning in. And today, as you can see in the title, we're going to do the review of Chainsaw Man, the Reze arc. So yeah, of course, if you know, the Reze arc came already long time ago, like I think in middle of September. And yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch the movie as I was very busy with university stuff, and unfortunately didn't have the time to see the movie. Of course, I'm a manga reader, so I knew the stuff that's going to happen in the Reze arc, from the Reze arc. And it's been a while since I read the Reze arc, so it was maybe 2-3 years ago. So I'm not 100% sure if they adapted everything or did some changes, but of course I will talk about it through the review. If you haven't watched it, you can probably watch it now, because if you're like Chainsaw Man and you want to know what happened next. Of course, the Reze arc is a continuation of the anime and follows the manga. And of course, you can now watch, if you were not able to watch it on cinema, you can also watch it now legally online. So yeah, this is what I've done. So yeah, of course, I would say, just to say in general, the movie is a good movie. It's just a good movie without spoiling too much, because I will later go into more detail. And it's not really, it's sort of a review, but it's not really that structured. When I was watching the movie, I was also writing some notes along some keynotes, so I will talk about it. And yeah, in general, I would say it's a really good movie. If you enjoyed it, write down in the comment section below what's your favorite moment in the movie. What was your favorite aspect? The music, the action, the characters, anything regardless to the movie. Write down in the comment section below so we can discuss about it as a community. But yeah, let's get started. Of course, the movie starts out with Denji's dream, and like sort of he has a nightmare. But the thing is with this scene, I'm not sure if this was already in the Reze arc in the manga, because this is an important moment that will come later up again later in the series. But I'm not sure if this was, like I mentioned, I was not sure if this was already in the that early on, that moment mentioned, like the dream, Denji's dream, already that early in the Reze arc. I thought it would come much later, so I was not 100% sure about it. Also, the iris of the opening song, it's really good, and it's by Kenji Yonezu, because Kenji Yonezu also did the first opening of Chainsaw Man. It's also very beloved, and also this guy is really talented, the artist, as he also designs the covers for his album, everything by himself. And even Fujimoto, Tatsuki Fujimoto, the creator of Chainsaw Man, said he's jealous of him because he's good looking, he can sing, and he's an incredible artist. And later, Utada Hikaru, the other artist, who would also participate in the ending song with Kenji Yonezu in the ending song, he just said, why don't you just do a manga? And it would have been crazy. Fujimoto would hate him way more. Well, let's move on. One thing that was interesting is the shark fiend beam got introduced now in the anime. And always one thing that's really funny and interesting is when you read the manga, right? And after you watch the anime, of course, if you read the manga, and when the new characters are introduced, you always try to think of their voice in your head. I do this all the time. What kind of voice these characters would have, either when in the anime, right? And I'm surprised the voice that they gave Beam. I mean, the voice was okay. It sort of fits, and it's the voice actor of Okuda-kun from Dandadan or 9S. And I'm surprised because I thought like his voice would be like a duper, yeah, like sort of, but I mean, he's sort of like a character and loves Chainsaw Man, but also like I would just like sort of like more a deeper voice of yeah, if you get me. Also, the next thing is the Reze reveal. I mean, when Reze and Denji meet in the telephone booth, I forgot what it's called, and I think this was really beautiful Reze reveal. I mean, they were there, and then the reveal of her face, how the sun comes up, was really beautiful. Chainsaw Man, like the Reze arc movie, gives me really like early 2000 vibe, right? And the atmosphere of the movie gives me really 2000 vibe. And it makes sense if you don't know. Chainsaw Man takes place in the year 1997. I don't think that's a spoiler, right? No, it's not a spoiler. But it took me a long time to realize that it takes place in 1997. Also, one thing that I find really interesting is they highlighted or emphasized a few small things that I think people would have not noticed if they're anime reader, because of particular characters what they said, or the change of scenery, and these small things is so really interesting because I noticed what they are and how they tie later on in the series, and that's really small moment, especially when Makima talks about the angel devil. Yeah, there's a few small scenes that what they've done that really, if you don't know in manga, if you don't know in anime, if you're an anime watcher, you would not really notice or think anything by it, but I think a manga reader would potentially have realized it. And also, like, this movie is really like a movie as if it was made to be a movie. Like, how should I say it? I will do later a bit of a comparison compared to the Demon Slayer movie and Chainsaw Man, because both of them came in around the same time. But the scenery is really beautiful. The change of colors and how they portray particular scenes is really, really beautiful, and especially the contrast of what's happening with other characters, and the atmosphere is really beautiful. And also thinking about Denji, like Denji talking about thinking about it, Denji also mentions like Denji likes people who like them back. So it's also that's very interesting when it comes to love with Denji, right? Because Denji never really experienced like sort of love itself. So he thinks if a person really treats him nice, then he automatically treats him nice. So later when it comes later up again, this is really interesting. Also the music, and especially the music where Denji and Reze in the swimming pool right at school, it's really, really, really good. I've heard this multiple times, but I didn't realize that it was for Chainsaw Man because of social media. You can hear the music, and I didn't realize this was actually from the movie. I thought it's just a song. And also one thing, especially what I just previously mentioned with Denji, people liking he likes back or something. The scene where Denji talks about his feeling to Pochita and looking at all the girls he has interacted so far is so much. How they did it in the anime is so much more compared in the manga. Of course, it makes sense. Manga is just a panel, but the anime they really animate this few aspects, and I don't feel like it emphasizes that much of how Denji feels, particularly about some of the characters, because he visualized them in like a sort of a nude way. And like I mentioned before, this movie feels so much like a movie because of the cinematography. Especially when you watch Chainsaw Man Season 1, it felt like different compared to a normal anime with really good animation. It really felt like the cinematography is really there, it's captured. It's almost like it should not be treated as a normal anime episode or like a normal anime that gets a movie, because most of the time when you watch an anime that gets a movie, it's always, of course, music's better, more music, more animation is better, but cinematography it always stays the same, similar to the anime. But with change with the movie, this movie is so different. Also, the animation is freaking crazy. The moment the action really started, you can see, of course, previously the movie in the cinematography is really, really well, but the more the action starts, the animation is beyond crazy. That's really, really cool. And seeing Reze fight really reminds me of also the discourse that happened a few months ago about, of course, when the movie premiered. A lot of people were constantly comparing like who will be stronger, Bakugo, because Bakugo My Hero Academia, also at around the same time when Bakugo had a really crazy moment and with his explosion, constantly looking who's stronger, Bakugo or Reze. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure, but you can tell me in the comment section below who you think is stronger. But how Reze fights is really amazing, crazy. Also, we got to see Kobeni, and also one thing I was really funny is Kobeni might be the unluckiest, also the luckiest character in the series of Chainsaw Man, because this situation that happens now are just without spoiling, it gets crazier later for hell. This is so really crazy. And also now later when Reze and Denji really fight properly, where Denji really transforms for the first time in the series into Chainsaw Man, you realize that all the girls he liked or have interest in him don't really like him or are always interested just in killing him or just of punch hard. So they really don't care about him, which is sort of messed up because Denji deserves much better, especially later in the series. Goodness gracious. Yeah, Denji's record in love interest with girls is not that great, unfortunately. just in general, the fight scene in this project series is freaking ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous. The animations, how they jump around in the fight it's just ridiculous. Also, I really love like the Beam X Denji combo and amazing. It's amazing how the animation is and how they fight together against the typhoon, which is legit ludicrous. What's all the things that's happening where there's Reze and the typhoon level constantly fighting against freaking Denji, Aki, Angel, and Beam. Also, Beam I feel sorry for Beam also because Beam protects Denji and helps him out. Now sometimes how Beam is treated by Denji is sort of messed up, and how many blows Beam takes from Reze is ridiculous. So when I was watching, I was like, damn, Beam really doesn't really deserve it that much. It doesn't really deserve it. He doesn't need to go through all this crazy thing. Also, of course, now the fight ended and everything, and then we got to this beautiful moment between Reze and Denji, and where they were at the beach. Denji helped her, and I think this was really well done, and a change of scenery. And story-wise, because I'm not really talking about that much depth about the story character-wise, because I already read the manga, so I'm not that surprised because I knew it. But yeah, I think in general this scene was really good, and the characters. And yeah, of course, after all the situation has happened, it's done. Now we get to see, of course, potentially Denji saying, yeah, I will wait for you in the coffee shop at lunchtime. And then we see, I don't think it's a different day, I think maybe it's the same day, where Reze is there again and she's on the way to in the city. And there's Reze has a flower, and before she goes to use the train, okay, she didn't use the train, but she has a flower in front of the train. And it's really crazy because the flower that she holds looks gives me very similar vibe to Makima Eyes, as this flower is red and yellow, which Makima Eyes are also red and yellow. And of course later we see in the end of the scene, at the end of the movie, Reze was so close. Reze was so close, getting close to Denji, and yeah, she was maybe another 6-7 meters away into the shop. But of course then Makima comes in and with Angel and kills her, and also she says also at the end he never went to school like Denji, which we find out also because the Soviet Union took orphanage and then experimented with them, and Reze is one of them, like a spy technically. And that's crazy, and if you think about it, all this thing happening. And this was the first time, I think, okay, it's not the first time, but what I was about to say is the first time that the anime watchers get to see more of Makima, how mysterious she is. But I would not say that it's the first time, especially the moment when Makima was one time in the train and she got shot, but she was alive again. Yeah, this is a bit more the mystery of Makima. I won't say much more because spoilers, but Makima is very interesting. And yeah, that's basically the end of the movie. And also the ending of the movie, we get to see the ending song by Utada Hikaru and Kenshi Yonezu called Jendo. And that's really interesting because Utada Hikaru, big artist, especially if you, in Japan she's really big. And of course internationally you might know her, for example, For Your Eternity, she did the opening, also did the music for the Evangelion movies. And also especially I think where she's potentially internationally most known is Kingdom Hearts, because she did the main Kingdom Hearts music opening, like Simple and Clean, Sanctuary, Face Your Fears, and the movie ending song is really good. It's really beautiful, and I like the contrast between Utada Hikaru and Kenji Yonezu in the song. And also after the credit, you get to see Denji waiting for Reze in the coffee, but unfortunately Reze is dead. So yeah, that's basically it. And also we get to see Power again, because I totally forgot we barely see Power, because Power was there and then showed in the beginning of the movie, and then she was most of the time the movie gone. Also now, of course, now that Reze is dead, I really would have loved to know how Reze and Denji relation would have looked like if they were able to live and be together. This would have been very interesting, right? If they were officially a couple, because in the end, of course, Reze says also like he didn't really love Denji, but of course She seems like she really has feelings for Denji, especially at the end of the series. And also, it would be interesting in an alternative timeline maybe, there would have been like a really cute couple, and then there's an illustration of that Fujimoto, the creator of Chainsaw Man, did of Reze and Denji as if they're elementary school, a couple like sort of liking each other, and then in high school, and also like sort of like graduation age sort of high school. And that's really beautiful, and it makes you really angry and sad that this could not have happened, because Denji goes through a lot. If Denji at least had a love interest there, then this could have been very, very interesting. Yeah, but later in the future it would have been very different in the series. But overall, the movie was really, really great. And if you compare to Demon Slayer, I would say both of them are amazing movies, and especially because the reason why I compare them is because both of them came out in roughly in the same time. But the Chainsaw Man movie feels more of a completed movie, as the movie as it's only a small arc in the manga, and it makes sense to perfectly adapt it compared to Demon Slayer, because it's going to be a trilogy. With this movie, it felt like it had a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's overall conclusiveness compared to Demon Slayer, because it's still open and we're still anticipating for more. And also with the cinematography, how they've captured the series, it was like a proper movie. How should I explain it? But I think you get what I mean if you watch it compared to other anime, because of course other anime they will of course make it a movie experience, but this feels like it was always meant to be a movie. Like Chainsaw Man, how Fujimoto also just in the manga feels really more movie-esque, like how he captures these particular scenes. But yeah, if you get anime, it almost feels like it was always intended to be a movie. With the animation, I can't say anything, because animation-wise, it was mind-blowing. Movies was freaking incredible. It has great intro. The intro song is really good. OST, background music in general, and how they sometimes don't use any music, just have like natural sound like rain or like the what you hear outside normally. And the ending song is also freaking amazing. Character-wise, there's not really much for me to say, as most of the characters are really the same. But except for Denji, I would say Denji has now, I think, a different perspective or different view because of Reze as the interaction. Because Denji thought like it's amazing that he has like can eat, has place to sleep, has friends, and why I think taking this for granted should not be the case, because around the world not everyone has the opportunity, but it should be more of a normal thing to have, right? A normal right to have. And now Reze mentioning that makes Denji think about it a bit more differently. Also Reze is I really like Reze. Reze was really cool. She was so short for such a popular character. Later throughout the series you see, okay, you don't see it, she's dead, but in the franchise you can see she's a very popular character, and yeah, and it would have been really cool to see as a love interest and both of them being together throughout the series. And yeah, she is so well liked that yeah, she's very, very liked. Also with the new introduction also of Beam, I would say I really like Beam. He was hilarious. He was for me like the MVP of the arc. I would definitely say he was the MVP, as he carried Denji, rescued him, helped him out, protected him. He was probably the MVP of the arc. And also Archie, Angel, also introduction of Angel, people have a lot of seen. Archie was the same, but yeah, I have nothing much to say. Also in general, the fighting in the movie was incredible. As the first of the movie, they were mainly focusing on Denji's interaction with characters like, especially with Reze and with Makima. But I would say the main fight, of course, Denji and Reze was freaking crazy, pure fighting, pure cinema. But I don't know how to explain it. Why the fighting was freaking brilliant, amazing. It didn't move me as a whole. I was watching, I was like, yeah, cool. But compared, I should not do this, so please forgive me. But if I compare to Demon Slayer movie, I think the movie fights in Demon Slayer was moving me way more. Of course, a bit unfair because I watched the Demon Slayer movie in cinema, and this movie also the Chainsaw movie at home, but it didn't move me as much, if you get me, if you understand me. But yeah, in general, it's still a really amazing movie. I have really no complaints. I'm really happy also that the movie really made a lot of money, and it did really well. It made over $100 million dollars in box office, and also yeah, one crazy thing is, as I mentioned, Reze is a very popular character. That in fact that Reze has now, there's a clip of Reze dancing to the intro song of the Chainsaw movie, and it's now the most liked anime related tweet ever with 1 million likes, which is crazy. I mean, she's a really cool character. Chainsaw Man is popular. Kenshi and Yunezu, the arts with just the opening for the movie, very popular, and also the dancing is really cute. So I'm not surprised, but damn, most like anime related tweet, that is crazy. But yeah, overall I would say the movie was freaking amazing, and I would give the movie an 8.5, as I don't have really complaints, but I don't know, with it didn't move, I can't explain, it didn't move me as much. Well, I don't have really complaints, but that's the only thing I could say. But yeah, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed this video, please punch the like button and share it all to your friends. Please write down in the comment section below what was your favorite movie moment of the movie. What's your favorite aspect of the movie also? Is there anything you would change, or if there anything we would change or do something differently? Write down please in the comment section below. And if you any video suggestions, please also write down in the comment section below. I would see this, because me having a small channel, I see a lot of comments. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. May God Jesus Christ bless you all. Let your light shine bright, and have a blessed day. Peace. Don't forget, life is showtime.